Okay. Let's see if the internet gods will work with us today. My name is Camille Kraft. I'm the owner and creator of Vital Mystic, and we do these every Tuesday Astro Energy Forecast for the upcoming week. And we have some very fiery energy that is kicking us off this week. So I'm going to dive right into it, what to be prepared for, and how to best use the stellium in Sagittarius that is only happening between 12/11 and 12/14. So that's still December 11th and December 14th. This week, we are kicking off with waning moon in Leo. You're going to have an opportunity to really understand your self-worth, your authenticity, and your power. Waning moon in Leo really asks us to own your light, own your value, own who you are, and allowing for everything to move around you. This type of waning moon is where are you asking other people to see you before you see yourself? Right. And whenever we have a waning moon, we always think about what is the shadow of these signs? What is the thing that I am releasing that is around this area of my chart? And so waning moon in Leo really represents this space of I'm looking for validation. I'm looking for you to see me, right? Instead of just allowing ourselves to shine. This might also be ways that you might dim the way that you react or respond or communicate or things along those lines that keep everyone else appeased instead of yourself, right? If you've never, it's kind of like big light, big lioness roar. It's here to repel and attract. And so waning moon in Leo teaches us where are we still looking for out external validation, and also where can you actually see your inner power and light and creativity and allow that for that to be enough. Because a lot of times we'll dance with things that aren't really a good match for us, but because that's what we think that we deserve. And so this is actually an opportunity to remember that there is something out there that is for you in your true essence and expression. Neptune will also station direct this week on Wednesday. And so just as the moon will move into Virgo, waning moon in Virgo is release the control. So any forms of perfectionism, pessimism, judgment of yourself or others, trying to figure out the plan before you need it. The reason why I'm focusing on this right now is because we have a very big uptick of energy, and I'll explain why. And so this particular energy shifts a lot when Mercury moves into Sagittarius. So Neptune will station direct in Pisces. It is now moving back through past illusions, and then it will station direct. And so once it stations direct, it's like, okay, now we're really clear on what we want, right? We're really clear on what we're not willing to dance with, the illusions, like what people say that they are versus how they act, right? Or what I think I want versus what I actually need. So allowing ourselves to move from that space of your dream, understanding that you're the conduit, and by choosing to honor your inner light, by choosing to move from that space, hi Jen, by choosing to move from that authority, that inner lion or lioness, you're going to ripple around, right? You're going to choose how you create the energy vortex by saying yes or no, or moving from that space of kind of spiritual authority or value or understanding the power of your own light, but not needing it to be seen by other people or things. You have to see yourself before everyone else sees you. That's just how it works. And as long as we're dancing with that illusion, we're going to stay kind of subtly in this liminal round of this is good enough, this is good enough, this is good enough. When actually we need to say, hey, that's not working for me anymore. Therefore, I'm going to move this direction. If you want to join me, fuck yes. If you don't, no, thank you. Right. And just be clear with what you want. This is a really important week to be clear with what you want, and I will explain why. As we have third quarter moon in Virgo, we're going to release control. We're going to release the need to control other people's reactions to us by staying small. Right? We're going to also release the need to over perfect, right? What is the actual thing if I didn't make 10 like million lists about what all the negative things that could happen? If I actually made all the lists of all the powerful things that could happen, what would shift in my life right now? How would I be moving in my life right now? If I could see all the miracles that were on their way to my life right now, how would I act as if right now. And that's why this message is really important this week, because it will set you on a path of what you're opening up to in the next year. And I will explain why. We will come out of Mercury retrograde shadow on December 13th. Okay, so there's really important dates between December 11th and December 14th. While we are in those last edging days of the Mercury retrograde shadow, refining what we learned over that Mercury retrograde, what we're available for, what we're not, what we're getting clear for, what we're calling in, ways that we're not farming out our energy, the way that we're going to see ourselves in that true authenticity. In order for you to reach the stars, you have to point your arrow there. You're not pointing it to, can you please see me? Can you please look at me? Right? You're pointing and going to where what you actually want. And so the reason why I say this is because Mercury, Sun, Mars, and Venus will all be in Sagittarius between the days of 12/11 and then 12/14 is about the time that Mars moves into Capricorn. That is a stellium. That's four major planetary players coming into a very fiery sign about miracles, opening doors, saying yes, moving as if you already have those things in place. And so with that in like moment of being able to be in that space, Sun, Mercury, Mars, and also Venus is cultivating this opportunity for you to transcend. It's allowing for you to move not just in your conscious mind, but in your actions, in the way that you magnetize wealth or opportunity. And then it also has the opportunity to the way that you think and or believe. That's why getting everything on board right now for where you are going in 2026 is incredibly fucking important. So, with that honoring of yourself, honoring of your vision, how are you going to transcend ways that you have acted before, ways that you have manipulated yourself into dimming your light, ways that you have allowed yourself and moving from that space of pushing from the authority of who you are? So, this really is about transcending to the vision and becoming the conduit of the vision before the external matches. What part of you needs to align internally so that you can allow yourself to move from that place? Where have you stopped yourself before, and where can you allow yourself to be the conduit of that space as well? So, after all of this comes together, Mars will move into Capricorn. Okay, so Mars will move into Capricorn on Saturday, the 14th. And so, Mars, this is getting ready for some of the wealthiest astrology that we have all of 2026. There are some really powerful dates that are going to be not March, January 5th to the 9th. Make sure that you write this down on your calendar. It is specifically really powerful for wealth, investments, as well as business. Okay, so these are really important dates. Mars will move into Capricorn. When Mars is in Sagittarius, it says, where can I take the actions now? And then Mars in Capricorn says, let's fucking build this. Let's build something and move from that space of authority. I have the vision, therefore I'm going to match it with structure. And when we have a vision and we match it with structure, we balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and you have no choice but to be wildly successful. And the way that I always see this, and this is the way that I teach in all of my containers, is that we could be doing all the energetic work. We can be knowing all the cycles. We can have all of the authority around what rituals, what to do when. But if we don't have the structure, we are not going to reach those high levels because we're going to burn out, right? So having those structures, those disciplines, those routines, the body, the earth, we have to match those two things together within ourselves. And that's actually how I've created a high level of wealth very quickly. A lot of times we look at this structure, we're like, oh, this is just what I do. But the second that you go into ritual and you tune in and you say, what's the actual thing that I need to do? It's probably going to shift the structure or the actions that you're creating. So use your divine authority, use your opportunity opportunity right now to transcend what you see is possible for you. And what I will say right now is that chaos will always pick up right before you're about to break through. It will challenge every belief because you've never moved in that structure or way, or maybe you've never trusted in that way. So over these coming weeks are really important for you to discern on what you are investing your time, your energy, your thoughts, your mind, your actions into, because it will ramp with the energy. It's a wave of energy. So again, right now is the vision. Right now is getting clear. Right now is making the choices. Right now is matching the internal world to the external. And then give yourself an opportunity to build your wealth in the next few weeks, especially obviously sometimes things take way more than a few weeks, but some of the wealthiest astrology all year happens the first week of January. So we will definitely have a kickoff event. It's called Your Wealthiest Year Yet. You can comment on any of my posts or stories right now, the word or keyword 2026. It won't work here, but ultimately you can go to any of my posts or stories or anything like that, and we'll send you the wait list for it because it's very important. It's going to help you learn how to map all the wealthiest states for the next 12 months to your unique birth chart. And it's something that is near and dear to my heart because it's helped me build $1 million brand with somebody who literally was never destined to be successful in business. I will be the first one to tell you. As we close this week, we will have waning moon in Libra. Look at your relationships. Look at the way that you're receiving. Look at the way that you are doing. Are these two actions balanced? Are the masculine and feminine balanced within you right now? Have you been trying to over control or do, or fix all the things without taking the time to receive because I don't have time for that, right? Or have I been receiving and not taking the actions and avoiding the things I actually need to do? Ask yourself these big questions because as that energy begins to transcend, we will move into the new moon in Sagittarius next week. We will also come into winter solstice. Those are some of the most powerful times to really tune in, right? So new moon on 12/19, then winter solstice, really incredible wheel of the year to look at the internal light, the power within you to build, right? Regardless of our external circumstances or things that we might be experiencing or what has happened to us in the past, you always have that power and light to expand. And so that is the energy that we're moving into, and it's going to be ramping up because all of a sudden, all of these planets are now stationing direct. The only thing that will be retrograde, Jupiter will still be retrograde. And so I just want to take a note on this, which is Jupiter is retrograding exalted in Cancer. And so that means to expand, right? To draw more opportunity. When Jupiter is retrograde, it's from the inside out. Right? So the more that we clear from the inside, the more externally we will experience from the outside. And so if you're asking, how do I create these results, but I don't have those resources, go within first. Start to map your astrology. Start to pay attention to what's happening. What is the vision calling you forward? I always think about the visions that called me forward 6 months ago, right? And you can even do this now. Think about all the things that you've done 6 months ago. Where were you 6 months ago to the version that you are now? What did you accomplish? What did you go through? What did you transcend, right? What are the things that you learned? And from with that knowledge and wisdom, what is possible from here? Right? With what is possible. And some of that is, ultimately like taking the opportunity to really come into the space around who you are and what you are ready to be. So, with that said, we're just going to go ahead and block that guy. Point in case. Feel free to block people that are just totally an asshole. So, with that said, I hope you guys have an incredible and beautiful week. And yeah, you guys are having really interesting conversations today. Don't argue with people. It's a waste of fucking time. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your week. Be focused on your mission and allow yourself to move from that space of what your vision is ready to create. Bye, everybody.